Ponderosa Pine. How'd you get that name?
I gave it to myself in 1972. I had moved back to California from New Mexico, where I became really fond of that tree, and then I learned that it's the most susceptible of California trees to smog, and that it was in trouble in large numbers up to 6,000 or 8,000 feet along the eastern ridges of the LA basin, and also in trouble in the Sierras to the north. So I thought by taking the name I might help represent the destiny of Ponderosa pines in the human community. And it's a relatively high altitude tree, flourishing more like at 6,000 or 8,000 feet, although you do find them at lower altitudes. And they have a serene quality, I think. I really enjoy being around them. You know, the North American environmental movement began early in 1969 when 7 of us down in Marin County, here in California, jumped in front of a truck carrying redwood corpses down a ridge. And we were arrested for doing that because we were blocking a thoroughfare or whatever they called it. But it did stop the logging in that county. There hasn't been any logging like that since. That was more than 20 years ago. And I think that we can do that here, too. I think we're off to a good start with it here.
I think so, too.
All right.
You made an interesting statement. You used the word corpses.
Yes,
in relation to trees.
Yeah, that's how I think of them. And I think of newspapers as printed on tree flesh. That would be a more realistic way of looking at it than simply to use some abstract name like paper, which doesn't really tell you very much.
I tell you, more and more I see and hear people saying, feeling bad about throwing so much paper away and carting it off to the landfill.
Yeah.
So unconsciously, I think a lot of people probably feel the same way you do.
Yeah.
What can they do?
Well, they could subscribe only to publications that don't contain ads. That's a big step in today's economy, but it would certainly be helpful because the advertising industry is responsible for probably 80% of the squandering of tree flesh in print media. That is, if there were no ads, the publications would be less than half their current size, and that would make a big difference. If you do an environmental impact analysis of the ad industry, you see that they're disastrous not only for what they consume directly in the form of tree flesh ads, but also the fact that the ads themselves usually end up encouraging what used to be called conspicuous consumption or excessive consumption. Consumption far beyond what might be computed as your share as one of several billion Homo sapiens on a planet whose life support systems are very rapidly deteriorating. People have to realize how important human mood is right now, that human mood has become a tremendous environmental problem because, especially in the industrial nations, the average person doesn't feel good enough, often enough, to care enough about her or his future to be willing to go through the changes that are necessary now in order to have futures at all. If you get really serious about saving a species, you have to gather together with other people, and it's my feeling that you do have to engage in rather a lot of, and I stress the word nonviolent, civil disobedience. But I think what is needed is that sort of thing on a Gandhian scale. Thousands of people gathering together at the most relevant locations to express themselves that way. The old civil rights movement used to have the motto, one man, one vote. Updated, that would be one person, one vote. But let's broaden that out so it's like a vote for all of the individuals within all of the species. And with that as a perspective, let's try to work out a survival strategy that doesn't merely maximize the possibility of Homo sapiens survival, but in fact tries to make it possible for as many species as conceivable to remain with us on this planet.
Get back to your easy swing, living. Easy swing, living. To your easy swing of living. Your easy swing of living.